Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Buns, Burgers, and Big Ideas. In case you forgot, I'm Riley, and with me is Eric.
I'm still Eric.
We're still here. We're still our own people.
So you brought up a clip today, Riley, and I don't know if you know, but like the NBA Finals are upon us, right?
Yep.
And it's starting to get into all that. And you brought up a Kobe clip.
I did bring a Kobe clip.
Yeah, one of the greatest of all times to ever play the game.
GOAT status for sure.
Yeah.
So, and a great leader.
Right? Yeah. Tell me more. Tell me. Yeah. So how did that clip get to you, or where was your inspiration on this one?
So as we've been kind of shifting our content here a little bit, I was just scouring the web for some good content to talk about with you and to show our listeners. And this one came up about Kobe, and it was just super cool hearing how he connected with his teammates and how he tried to be a champion and help his team be a champion. So
let's take a listen.
Let's listen.
All right.
A teammate that spoke to me and said, "Hey, Kobe, I just want to feel like as a teammate, you need me." I was like, dude, yeah, of course. But I had to kind of think about really what he was saying and where that was coming from for him and his story and his journey and what that meant to him. And that opened my eyes to there's a bigger game being played. It's not just basketball, but it's the emotions of each individual and the backstory that they're carrying with them, the baggage that they're carrying with them. And if I really want to be a champion and be a great teammate, I have to understand what those mean to help them become better and in turn help me.
Kobe Bryant, GOAT status though, for real. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was so cool when he talked about, just his teammate and how his teammate, for one, had the courage to be like, "Yo, Kobe.
Yo, Kobe.
I want to feel like your teammate."
Yes. Yeah.
And Kobe was like, "You know what? You're right. These are all different stories, different people that he's like, I don't know these guys. I need to really understand their story.
Yeah.
If I can play with them."
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, everybody does, right? They have their story, their journey of however they got to where they're at. And we only get to see the tip of that iceberg.
Yeah. In an interview or on the practice field, however you want to say it, right? We only get to see a little bit. And as leaders, I think it's our job to understand them more, not just to, be friendly, but to really understand them and help them as a coach and leader and teammate.
Yeah. And I think over his career, he obviously grew, right, as a leader in his career. And, initially, right, you start playing, and as he got older, right, he went through some injuries and had become more of a mentor sometimes at points. But if people think of Kobe, they really do think of him as a leader, especially on the basketball court with his teammates. And there's a few things that he did to really help get his teammates to believe in his leadership. And a lot of it was setting the standard even just through his work ethic. Yeah.
He was at the gym all the time, putting in those long hours to get better at the game. And I think just by setting that bar at that standard, it really showed his team like what success looks like or what hard work and grit looks like.
Yeah.
So that I'm sure helped his team just that alone, but there's other stuff.
Yeah, because people ultimately wanted to follow him. And, part of that is you're about to go play basketball with the greatest of all time. And, for us too, you're walking into an organization that wants to be successful. So, sometimes walking into that, it can be a little bit more pressure and it can become a little overwhelming at times, I would imagine. But we have to set the bar high in order to get and help people achieve the things that they probably don't even know that they're capable of. And Kobe was a great example of that, right? Like if you showed him that you could do this, he'd say, "Cool, but I want more," right? He was always wanting more out of his teammates. And there was a lot of endless work on his end to help his people and his team get there. And I think that's part of that. But he was also honest, right? Like if you slacked off, he was going to tell you. And I know there's plenty of stories around that, but he believed, honestly, the best way to support was to challenge his team to reach their full potential. And I think as we've kind of embraced that, it's the same thing, right? We want to put people in positions that they're not quite comfortable with, because how do you grow if you're not, if you're always comfortable?
Absolutely. And you have to have some of those uncomfortable conversations or uncomfortable moments when that shift is happening, when you're moving pieces around like that, or, this teammate's really good at this, you want to move them around, and that might have a conversation attached to it that maybe the teammate didn't like.
Yeah.
But that's what a good leader does.
Well, and I think one of the reasons you brought the clip up is helping people feel like a part of the team. And it is really important because I think people like team atmospheres. I think people like winning cultures. I think people want to feel like they're included in that success, right? Whether you're a bench player or on the court as a starter, everybody wants to feel like they're contributing in some way.
And they're on the team for a reason. You know, they tried out or they got selected, they got drafted, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So why not give them all of the opportunity to show you what their potential is?
Yeah.
Like Kobe.
Exactly. Well, it's fun. It's the same thing for us, right? We go through the interview process, we go through the orientation process, and we're a few days into it. It's like, well, this person isn't cutting it. Like, you hired them for a reason, right? You brought them into this team for a reason. And if you really want to be that champion or leader, you have to understand your people a little bit more. What is going to help them be successful? Do they need more time on the court? Do they need to go watch more film? Like, what do they need in order to get them to be successful? And that's on all of us. And we can't do that unless we're really ingrained in what they're trying to achieve or how they can participate.
Right. And their backstory. And in the long run, too, that's going to help the organization or the team or all these.
Yeah.
We're speaking in analogies now, but it's going to help them if you understand and help them, right? It's going to help all of us. So I really liked that too. And I think, when we're being leaders in the restaurants, it's okay to have those conversations with your team too. I know Kobe shouldered a lot of the pressure on those big games, but when it mattered, he knew who to pass it to.
Yeah.
So do you know who to pass the ball to when you're running your shift?
Right. And sometimes, but it's funny because big game moments, right? He didn't always take the game winning shot.
Right.
And I think that's a part of what you're discussing right there is you don't always have to be the person to go for it all. You have to trust your people, but you have to put the work in, right? You have to get them to that point to where you are trusting and you are comfortable and they're confident and comfortable enough to take the shot. Because I'm going to tell you, there's plenty of times out there where our leaders or our managers in the restaurants don't even look to attempt the shot, even though we pass them the ball. So I think a lot of that behind the scenes stuff that Kobe did, the practice sessions, right? Because every shift matters, every shot mattered. I can't remember what they said. I wish I had it on me, but he took like 500,000 shots, right? Just to have the feel of it. So when the game time did matter, he was confident and comfortable enough to take that shot. And he did that for his teammates. Because yes, he shouldered the pressure in big moments, but he also wasn't afraid to let others shine in that moment too. Yeah, which is truly impressive.
It's a great leader. It's a great qualities and great traits to have in a leader. And honestly, back to just the root of this, because I don't think I mentioned it, but this is emotional intelligence, which we've had many episodes about because it's my jam, as Eric mentioned to me earlier.
Yeah,
and emotional intelligence is so powerful because it gives leaders the opportunity to understand more about their teammates. And when you understand more about your teammates, you can personalize your approach to them. It's not a cookie cutter. It's not one size fits all with leadership. Yeah. Plain and simple.
No, I've definitely learned that over the years. And we're just here to mentor, right? We're here to help people be better within themselves and be better for their team. Kobe found a way to bring out the best in his teammates, and he was able to, as a team, win championships, because let's face it, this isn't a one person, thing. We're all in a team and we have to bring the best out of our people. It's just really impressive that he's able to, year after year with different players, bring out the championship and the champions in every one of his people that he worked with and worked for.
Yeah. I agree. If I really want to be a champion or leader, meaning if I want this for myself, then I have to understand my teammates and help them become better, which will help me. And as history has shown us, it did help him.
Right. So just curious, how well do you know your players, right? How well do you know your team? And could we do more, right? Could we help support more? Can we coach more? Can we get them more comfortable to take that game-winning shot?
Can we challenge them a little bit more to take that? Yep, exactly.
Is that what you were going to say?
Well, as you were saying, I was like,
right?
Yeah.
It's true, though. How do we get them comfortable enough to take the win? How do we get ourselves comfortable enough to pass them the ball so that they can take the shot?
Oh, it's both sides, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing the clip up.
Of course.
All right.
Of course. Listen, learn, lead. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Thanks for joining us on Buns, Burgers, and Big Ideas. We hope today's episode inspired fresh ideas for your leadership journey. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and keep learning with us as we continue to explore leadership in the QSR world. Until next time, take care and lead well.